What do you think of when you hear the word refugee? For too many of us, it's a limited understanding of the heartache, hurt, and despair displaced people are experiencing around the world. These are men, women, and children who are escaping war-torn countries, genocide, and other horrific situations. They are fleeing the only home they have ever known with nothing more than the clothes on their backs and a few cherished keepsakes in their luggage. And these doctors, lawyers, business people, middle-class and well-educated families are simply searching for safety and stability. With 100 million men, women, and children fleeing conflict, violence, human rights violations, and persecution, it is a global problem that many of us simply don't know how to handle. And we're overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the challenge we all face together. Launch Capital is serving a population of refugees in Louisville, Kentucky. As a result, they're discovering for themselves that this population of people has unique skills, traits, and unique perspectives of the world that make us better. Not only that, but they display incredible loyalty and a commitment to community that makes investing in their needs an even more meaningful endeavor. Let's watch.
Launch came out of an effort between Ben and I to love and serve our neighbors. We had a friend that lived intentionally in an apartment community, and he was trying to do different programs and trying to work with management and having a lot of challenges. And as we looked into that more and as we acted as an advocate for the refugees and for some of these programs, we found that this was not an anomaly.
The biggest factor to their success here in the United States is finding stable and affordable housing. But only about 15% of US landlords will rent to newly arriving refugees, will even consider it. And so at any point in time, there's a huge mismatch between the need of incoming arrivals and the actual supply that's in the market.
Louisville is one of the top 10, maybe top 5 per capita cities for refugee resettlement in the whole country. Louisville is a city that is focused on logistics, and so we have a lot of operations from companies that do shipping and distribution. Those kind of jobs are particularly suited for refugees and immigrants. So that's one of the reasons why there are lots of refugees and immigrants that have come to Louisville in a sustained way over a long period of time. That kind of is the reason why we've been able to serve them as a market demographic through a property management company and by owning multifamily apartments.
That has allowed us to have transformative social and gospel impact in the lives of our refugee tenants, but has also allowed us to have top of market returns. While profit can cause lots of ills in society, the ability to generate profit while pursuing a social good gives the ability for that organization to scale and grow in a sustainable way that traditional nonprofit activity doesn't have.
And the step beyond that, the icing on the cake, is the community that we see developed.
And we do that by managing apartment complexes in a way that uniquely focuses on and brings about relationships. That's what makes us different in a lot of ways. It's not first and foremost a business that gets retrofitted. It's a desire for impact and relationships that resulted in starting a business.
So the resident manager does a lot of things that are what a landlord would do. And so in their part-time work, they pick up trash, they make sure that the area is clean, and that allows for a lot of communication, a lot of interactions. So that's why having resident managers that live on site makes it to where it's much smoother to have those conversations.
Whenever we get a new tenant and receive them, we make sure to introduce ourselves and make sure that they know that they have a face to put to the company that runs their apartment.
Management here, they are so concerned. They come every time, check the whatever in the house that is wrong. They spray or they do anything. They come to talk to you and ask about your living condition.
I mean, these small things, spraying for bugs and making sure that these units are in well shape, I think it shows that we as a company care and are involved in the living spaces of the people that we serve. You know, I think they're little things, but they go a long way.
If he wasn't there, I don't know, the things to be fixed, it could be hard. We are new here, but when you believe in Jesus, When you love Jesus, God can just prepare a big blessing that you're gonna just meet, and then you will not struggle in that country that you are going, you know.
People often need presence of somebody who's loving and who will do simple things with them.
And so we don't want to disregard the temporal needs that a person has and only focus on their eternal needs. And yet we also don't want to just focus on their temporal needs and neglect eternal needs as well. And that balance is something that we try to walk intentionally, not one versus the other. We don't think they're opposed to each other, but we want to do them hand in hand every day.
You know, these are real people with real needs, and those needs are, you know, immediate. And so having control of the property, not just doing ministry in an apartment community, but actually controlling that apartment community, gives us a lot of influence and sway in what happens within those communities.
When Taliban came to Kabul, they took Afghanistan. So there was no way, just we had to leave Afghanistan. What I believe, anywhere who accept you, who accept you as a human, as a brother, I think that's your home. When I came here, they welcomed me and they accepted me. And the most important thing, I have a value here. When I was leaving my home, I was looking to my kids and my wife, and I was telling to myself, well, maybe I will not come back. Because of my faith and my job, it was too difficult. But in here, it's easy. That's why I said it feels like home, real home.
You've been put in a place that God intimately knows and cares about everyone around you. And as a Christian, you're called to love Him and love them. And if it's a business solution, my encouragement would be to start small and just try something. That's what we did. We have a lot of units now here in Louisville and are looking to expand more. But we started with one house, one house at a time, and then things build from there. So just go out, listen to people, and then take some small action.
Tragically, the word refugee has become politically charged. We've lost sight of the Deuteronomy 10:18 call of our faith to see God's care for the foreigner residing among us. It's not a suggestion. We are in fact commanded to love our neighbor, to care for the widows and orphans among us. While we can sharpen the policies and process of who, how, and where, the call to care for the foreigners in our midst also isn't in question. As we just saw in the video, caring for the vulnerable among us has an incredible way of developing an undeniable loyalty, a loyalty that can provide for sustainable market solutions, one that can deliver impact across so many different levels and inspire others to do the same. On the Faith Driven Investor website, you can find a list of some fund managers who operate in this space. Funds that invest in underprivileged or disadvantaged segments of society are often in funds where minimum investments, liquidity, and hold times vary. So you'll want to be sure to consult your advisor as to what investments make the most sense for you. Another opportunity is to connect and partner with like-minded faith-driven investors who share a passion to solve one of these injustices, sharpening each other through content, conversation, and diving into a community of like-minded investors that might deploy capital to solve these problems. If you're not currently connected to a group of peers and fellow believers, go to faithdriveninvestor.org to find one that fits your passions and your schedule. We'll see you next time.
Faith-Driven Investor is a discipleship ministry from Faith-Driven Movements, a non-profit corporation whose mission is to inspire and mobilize people to use their time, talent, and resources to impact the world around them. The materials are for informational purposes only. All investing carries risk, so be sure to consult an advisor before making any investment decisions. Hosts and guests may maintain positions in the companies and securities discussed. For all other questions, please visit faithdriveninvestor.org.